Well, hello there, and welcome to the NFL Championship Scripted Pick'em Show. This is the football pick'em program where I choose who I think is scripted to win. I'm basically guessing who I think the NFL has chosen to go to the Super Bowl. Because let's face it, the NFL is indeed scripted. It's entertainment, and the outcomes are not decided on the field. In fact, I know the outcomes are already decided, but I don't write the script. I don't work for the NFL. So the best I can do is try and guess what's in their hand. And I believe I can do just that and hit both of these games and both spreads and give you your exact Super Bowl matchup. Am I super confident? Well, whenever you try and predict a pretend football game, there's always that chance you get it wrong. And I have gotten some games wrong in the past, but I got more right than I got wrong. So I have a feeling that I have unlocked both winners of the AFC and NFC championship round. I think I have found the script that makes the most sense. So, would you guys like to hear that? Of course, that's why you clicked on the video, right? But before I pick those two games and tell you who's going to the Super Bowl, I want to tell you which matchups I don't like. And you guys help me figure out which matchups I don't like and which ones I do like by voting in my recent poll. So I did a poll on my channel in the community section, and I got 3,400 votes. If you voted, thank you very much. And you can still go there right now and vote, and we can keep these numbers growing and see what the final result is just before game time. But right now, I said, what Super Bowl matchup do you think we will see? And my audience, who mostly knows that the NFL is scripted and fake and phony, they overwhelmingly chose Ravens versus 49ers, and it was a dominant winner with four choices to get 39%. That's almost double of all the other choices. So the clear consensus from even my audience voting, surprisingly, you guys are going with the exact same pick as the majority of your common fans who think that the games are real. So, the most popular pick across the board, whether you believe it's real or I guess even if you think it's scripted, is 49ers and Ravens. And the color coded conspiracy for the logo has been trending on social media, all sorts of different social media platforms. It has been trending, TikTok and X and all that stuff. So, beings that matchup and the color connection for the Super Bowl logo, red and purple, has been focused on for over a month, and it seems tens of millions of people now know about the color coded logo connection. It seems to me, being that such a popular matchup, that, in my opinion, is the least likely one that's going to happen. So that's the one I like the least. So I'm throwing that matchup right out the window right now because I think too many people are on it. There's too much money that has already been bet. There's too much money that will be bet. And they've got people tied into futures and parlays and whatnot. So Ravens versus Niners, purple versus red, color coded connection, I believe is betting bait. And I've said it for over a month. So I'm not going to back off my position. I'm going to maintain purple versus red Super Bowl logo connection is betting bait. And one or maybe even both of those teams will not be there. So right away, that matchup, in my opinion, Not gonna happen. And I'm sure a lot of you will disagree. Feel free to tell me all about the colors of the logo in the comments below. I already know that. I believe it's betting bait. But good luck to you if that's what you would like to put your money on. So let's move down the list to the least popular selection, Ravens versus Lions at the bottom of the list. I eyeballed this matchup and I remembered that it already happened. The Ravens and Lions played in like week 6, I think it was, 5 or 6, and the Lions were the public underdog. So the public was all over the Lions as the underdog. And I remember I picked the Ravens just as a fate of the public because so many people were on the Lions, and the Ravens blew the doors off the Lions that game. It wasn't even close. So the Ravens had that one locked up like pretty much by halftime. So to rerun Lions Ravens, and then people would remember that the Ravens already smashed the Lions. The Ravens would be a huge favorite. I just don't see them rerunning that same matchup and then having the Ravens predictably win again. So, in that scenario, maybe the underdog Lions would have a shot if they did make it to the Super Bowl. Let's move on. And another thing about that matchup that I don't like is the money. Before I move on to the other matchups, I don't like Lions Ravens mainly because the money doesn't seem to make sense. If Las Vegas wants the most bets and the most money and the most people to show up and spend money, what have you, Ravens Lions isn't the match. Ravens Lions is Goff versus Lamar. That's not really a matchup that moves the needle and draws in a ton of ratings. Las Vegas is going to hope that a bunch of people from Michigan and Maryland show up and fill up all the hotel rooms and spend money and make bets. Out of all the matchups, I think that one makes the least amount of money for Vegas. And so I think that matchup won't happen. Another reason I don't think that matchup will happen is the betting odds. Let me just switch gears and show you the future betting odds on the Lions. So if we go to NFL futures, we'll see the Niners right now are the favorite to win the Super Bowl no matter who they face. Ravens at plus 185, Kansas City Chiefs at plus 360, the Lions at plus 750. Lions at plus 750 to win the whole thing. So if you like the Lions, you have the opportunity right now. If you like the Lions to win the whole thing, not this next game against the Niners, but the Super Bowl to win the whole shebang, you get plus 750 odds. In my opinion, those odds are quite high. And that, in my opinion, means this is most likely the end of the line for the Lions. So, Lions, if you're one of those people who thinks it's the Lions' year to have that miracle Super Bowl win, you have the opportunity right now before they play the Niners to get plus 750 to win the whole thing. In my opinion, that's too good of a scenario for Lions fans. I don't think they're going to let you lay a grand and make 7,500. I don't think they're going to let you lay 10 grand and make 75 grand. So let me go back to the matchups. So another reason I said why I don't like Ravens Lions is the money situation. So there's a lack of star power, in my opinion. The Lions don't have enough stars. Lamar isn't really that big name of a quarterback as far as common regular uh, Super Bowl watchers go. So the people who watch the Super Bowl aren't always hardcore fans. A lot of them are just regular run of the mill people who are just watching because it's the Super Bowl. And so they're not going to recognize a lot of these players that the hardcore fans know and love. And so your common everyday TV watcher who doesn't follow every game and isn't a huge fan, they know who Patrick Mahomes is, but they don't really know who Jared Goff is. They don't even really know who Lamar Jackson is. So I would say that that's the least likely matchup because there just isn't enough star power and there isn't enough money. And I don't think Las Vegas wants to have the first ever Super Bowl in their city with two East Coast teams that won't draw as much money as the other matchups. So that's the second matchup that I don't like. So let's move on to Chiefs and Lions. Chiefs and Lions is interesting. I like the fact that there's star power as far as Mahomes being there, Kelsey, Taylor Swift, of course. And in case you're wondering, Taylor Swift can make it from Tokyo to the Super Bowl on her private jet. No problem. I already looked into it. So Taylor Swift does have a series of concerts the weekend uh, of the Super Bowl, like Friday, Saturday night. But from what I've found and what I've looked into, she can easily jump on her private jet and make it to the Super Bowl if the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. So star power here seems much higher than a Ravens Lions matchup. A Chiefs Lions matchup gives you the defending champs, Mahomes, Mahado, all that. And then you get your underdog in the Lions. And then you can also maybe throw in possibly Eminem showing up, and then you got Swifty and Eminem as high profile celebs at the game, possibly. So this matchup, I like it better than Ravens Niners and Ravens Lions, but one reason I don't like this matchup is that it already happened. We already saw Chiefs and Lions week 1. So are they going to replay week 1? And the Lions already upset the Chiefs. So there goes the story of the team nobody expected to win because they already upset the Chiefs. So for them to upset the Chiefs again, it's like it's not quite as special as it would be if they didn't play or if the Chiefs won the first time around. So Lions winning against the Chiefs Cinderella matchup. Like I said, the fact that they did that week 1 and the Lions already upset the Chiefs kind of ruined it. So it makes me think people would be on the Lions in that matchup. If they ran that matchup, I almost feel like the public would like the Lions plus the points. And they would look at that first game of the year and see the Lions already beat them. So I think public would like the Lions, and then you would just end up with Chiefs beating the Lions. So if you're a Lions fan, that matchup might not serve you so well because if the money was to stack up on the Lions side, they could just have the Chiefs clean the Lions clock. And you Lions fans would have to suffer the heartbreak of getting whooped in the Super Bowl. So it's not looking good for you Lions fans. I hate to say it. The plus 750 to win the whole thing is a signal that it ain't going to happen. So it's not that I don't like the Lions. It's that the money says that it's just not going to happen in my head, at least. Now, I could be wrong. They might pay out plus 750 to those lucky Lions fans who are betting on that right now. They might have the Lions pull 2 upsets in a row and pay out both upsets in a row. I just doubt it. I doubt it. So that leaves us with one last matchup, and it's the matchup I like the best. And the fact that you guys didn't choose it makes me like it even more. The fact that it's almost as low as Ravens Lions came in third place. Ding, 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 ding. Chiefs versus Niners. That's who I like. The reason I like Chiefs and Niners It checks all the boxes. Uh, Superstar quarterback Patrick Mahomes, defending Super Bowl champion. Ding. Up and coming superstar quarterback Brock Purdy. Ding. So you got two quarterbacks to move that needle. You got Mr. Fitzer himself, Travis Kelce, and George Kittle, two great looking studly tight ends who happen to be the best tight ends, both with the last name that starts with the K. You got your George Kittle and you got your Travis Kelce at tight end. You couldn't ask for two better looking white tight ends. The NFL definitely has a thing for white tight ends. And this matchup checks that box. Who else do we got? Oh, Taylor mother freaking Swift. I mean, that's like got to be worth 10 million extra viewers, right? That's got to make the ticket go up like an extra $1,000 per seat. I mean, everything about Taylor Swift being at that game makes it worth more money and more eyeballs watching. Are they really going to just rip Taylor out of the picture and run with Ravens and Lions? I don't know, man. I don't know about that. So, Chiefs Niners is checking all these boxes. And let me continue to check them for you. The 49ers have a star studded cast. They have, defensive superstar with Bosa. You got the little white running back who can't be stopped. The greatest little white running back of all time, Christian McCaffrey. You got Debo, who right now is supposedly injured, but he would be back for the Super Bowl, I would guess. And so you just got so many pieces on the Niners that they can interview the week before the Super Bowl. They like to do all the hype, Super Bowl hype in the week before the Super Bowl, and all those interviews with the players. And the Niners have no shortage of recognizable faces who look good on camera. So they check all the boxes as far as like the media, uh, the star-studded cast, you name it. And then finally, we come to the money, the thing that people aren't taking into equation, but I definitely am. Who does Las Vegas want to host? Do they want the most people they can possibly get or the least people they can get? Do they want the most bets or the least bets? What is Las Vegas all about? They're all about making money. They're all about taking your money if you go there. If you go there, they would like to take as much money as they can possibly get from you. That's kind of what the city is built upon. And so, beings, professional sports are scripted to beat sports gamblers. Las Vegas is the mecca of sports gambling. I think they're going to want a matchup that is juicy, that's going to draw a ton of people and a ton of bets. And most importantly, they want to slam pack every room in Vegas. They want to sell out every Super Bowl watching party. They want that ticket to be worth as most money as absolute possible. At least this is what I think. And the only matchup that gets that done is 49ers and Chiefs with Taylor Swift in the big game. So for the 49er fan base is gigantic and they're rabid. California shares a border with Nevada. Californians can drive over to Nevada. So people are way more likely to drive over from California and book up rooms and spend a ton of jack than they are to fly out from Baltimore or Michigan. And there's a ton of Kansas City Chiefs fans already. They're the defending champs. And with Taylor Swift being involved, you would get a ton of Chiefs fans from the Midwest and bandwagon jumper fans to show up. So I believe Vegas would have no problem selling out every single hotel room and getting the absolute most money and the most bets on Niners Chiefs, more so than any of the other matchups even more so than Ravens and Niners. Because Ravens and Niners, that excludes Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift is worth an extra, what, 10, 20 million viewers, probably? So now that you know who I like, Chiefs and Niners, let's go ahead and look at the matchups and the spreads, and I'll give you my picks. You already know who I like to win, so it's going to make it pretty simple. All right, so go back to the matchups. We got Chiefs on the road at the Ravens. Ravens are 3.5 point favorites. Uh, not only am I taking the 3.5, I'm foregoing the 3.5, going straight to the money line because the Chiefs, in my script, upset the Baltimore Ravens. I see in my script, in my head, I see a close game, tight, back and forth. Baltimore probably at some point in the fourth quarter has the lead, looking like they're going to get it done. But Mahomes comes through in the end, maybe even on the final drive. Actually, I think the Chiefs, maybe with a few minutes left to go, take the lead. Mahomes Mahado connection. And then the Ravens have the ball last. Lamar throws that game ending pick. They really love that ending. And we've seen it already a few times. So I feel like they're going to run that same ending probably again. So Lamar possibly has the ball last. Ravens down like 4 points, 3 points or something. He's trying to get his team set up for a shot to tie it up, take the lead, and he throws right into double coverage. Game over. One of those. So either Mahomes engineers the final game-winning drive, or Lamar throws the game-losing pick. Either way, I see it coming down to the final possession. So tight game. The spread and the outcome of this one is going to be down to the wire, in my opinion. Chiefs get it done. Chiefs move on to the Super Bowl. And then the next matchup, people are going to realize that color-coded Super Bowl ain't going to happen, because now the Chiefs just eliminated purple team. So there ain't no more purple left. So people are going to realize color-coded Super Bowl is done. And it might cause them to hammer the Lions here. Take the Lions because it's blue. I don't know. So once people realize color-coded Super Bowl ain't happening, then they're going to be like, oh, well, then I guess it must not be scripted because the color-coded Super Bowl didn't happen. They're going to try and run with that narrative. Oh, all those crazy kooks who believed in a color-coded Super Bowl. Well, they were wrong. So it must not be scripted. The NFL must be legit, right? Nope, not according to my script. All right, so in the second game here, Lions go on the road to face the 49ers in a hostile environment. Niners, 7-point favorites. I like the Niners to cover the 7. And if the money keeps coming in on Detroit in the spread, I think the Niners are going to win by over 14 to cover any of the teasers. So those who dare to tease, just be forewarned that if you tease the Lions to 14, the Niners might clear that and win by 15 or more. So I'm liking the Niners to cover the 7 easily, blow out the Lions. I really think the Niners blowing out the Lions and dominating makes the most sense. And the Chiefs barely sneak by the Ravens. which will justify the Niners being a 2.5 point favorite in the Super Bowl. And before I pick that game, I'm going to wait and see if that happens, of course, and see where the money is, what the spread is, what the story is, what have you. So I'm not going to make a Super Bowl winner prediction right now, but I like Chiefs and Niners all day long till the break of dawn. No color coded Super Bowl this year. That, my friends, I believe is betting bait. So there you go. Niners will be a 2.5 point favorite against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. Star power, check. Taylor Swift, check. Uh, the most money that Vegas can possibly draw, the most bets that they can possibly get, the most money they can possibly make across the board. Check, check, and check. Chiefs Niners is the matchup, and it's the only matchup we haven't seen this year as far as your four possible matchups. We saw the Lions and Chiefs already. We saw the Ravens and Lions already, and we saw the Ravens and Niners already. We didn't see Chiefs and Niners this season. So the fact that this AFC title game we did not see this season, and this NFC title game we did not see this season, I think it only makes the most sense that we get the Super Bowl matchup that we did not already see this season. Niners, Chiefs, and they can throw back 4 years ago to when the Niners and Chiefs played and show people that, the difference between the Niners team then and now, the difference between the Chiefs team then and now. So for the 2 weeks up to the game, you'll see ESPN replay the old Chiefs and Niners Super Bowl and make comparisons to those old teams and what have you. So that matchup, in my opinion, is the only matchup that truly checks all the boxes. I don't expect you to agree. I expect a lot of people to tell me I'm wrong. Go ahead, tell me how wrong I am in the comments section below. And who knows, maybe I might be wrong and then even come show up here and talk a bunch of trash, because I know that's what a lot of you guys live to do, is talk a bunch of trash when someone gets a game prediction wrong. So here's your opportunity to talk all the trash before the games. But if I nail both these games, you better believe I'm going to gloat about it. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about my picks. What are your picks? What do you think's going to happen? All that jazz. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take it easy. And if you're going to bet on this stuff, make sure you do so at your own risk and bet responsibly. Take care.